And how do you choose mentors and vet opportunities? Because you guys just said it, who are you buying from? It's okay to buy products online. It's okay to get information. We pay for school, this, that, and the third. But the people that are posting, ads, lifestyle marketing versus the people who are actually posting real wins, real authentic things. How have you chosen your mentors? How have you vetted them or vetted opportunities to get into? And before we answer this, I have to bring up something that's really relevant in the real estate community right now. A lot of people that listen in may know or have heard of something called TREF, which is the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, which is a real estate fund that was created by an influencer who, and I want to make sure I say this right, who allegedly is now going bankrupt. The fund is going bankrupt and being dissolved after the purchase of that influencer's personal property, his personal residence, and adjacent land that he has control over now. That was purchased with his influence, with the investors' money. Right. And that money was supposed to be put to work investing in real estate, providing returns for its investors, and its investors have yet to see a single penny back. So how have you, with this whole world of internet marketing and lifestyle marketing, how are you guys vetting, people and opportunities?
I mean, Jay Morrison is someone that I knew a long time ago. I had just closed a deal in Texas for a client who was referred to me by Jay more than 5 or 7 years ago through Twitter, right? So that's a hard one. That's a great example because and when I used to speak up against what I would see when I first had been approached by him and I had gotten involved to understand him and how he was running his community, what would happen is mentees would reach out to me to get financing. And when I would listen to what they were being taught, I knew immediately that he wasn't going to be a great leader. And just imagine me having to try to explain that to people when he was getting so much buzz and everyone's like, I'm a hater, or I might be called racist, right? So I have really, you have a strong sense to really sniff these things out with experience. So when you don't have experience, I think the first answer to your question, Kalani, would be, hey, run it by Kalani, run it by your team leader at Wire, run it by Nasima. Nasima's been around a long time. She's going to be able to sniff someone out real quick. Lady Jade's been in media forever. I know she knows a phony from a phony. Okay. So, we've got, there's some older people in your community that have been around a little bit longer that can maybe vet some people out, check references. But I would say, when you have let's talk about Vina Jetty, right? Vina Jetty is probably one of the most successful women I've ever met. I helped her buy a house in Texas. So I know beyond the front, I know the numbers, right? I know her. So I know exactly what this woman represents. And you would look at her social media and people will go, oh, she's trying to be an influencer. Let me just pass on that. Right. Mm-hmm. There's a group of guys in LA that throw this event called Reconvene. They're very rich white men that throw this massive event. And I remember twice I recommended that they put her on the panel. And every year they're talking about, hey, we need more women on this panel. This group of investors wouldn't even look in her direction. She's probably worth 3 times 50% of those men on those panels. So sharing that to say that it's difficult. This is an excellent thing to bring up in a community like this because it's difficult to understand who's the real and who's not, and who can stand the test of time. So choosing a mentorship is very, very difficult. I don't do it. I don't do it often. I have been disappointed time and time again in that world. And I've learned to kind of listen to my intuition and try to figure things out. But if you're early on in life, I think what's really, really the most important thing to do is if you're looking for mentorship, look for someone that has at least 2 decades of success in what they do in the field that you're trying to get mentored in. You need to see 2 decades of success. That's different than someone who's creating a community with lots of resources. That's different than someone that's providing financing for your home. I'm talking about your decision to pay someone thousands of dollars to mentor you through an area of life that you want to dedicate your time and energy to in order to create income and generational wealth. You're going to need to see a minimum of 2 decades of success.
I agree with that. You said, oh, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nasima.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the fact that you brought up time. One, when you're picking a mentor, you need to take your time. If you're in a rush which means you're going to make an emotional decision. You're probably going to choose someone who is marketing to you and selling you a pipe dream, right? So time has to be involved with that. You cannot make a good decision about a mentor when you're operating in desperation. That's one. Two, I love the fact that you said you have to have a certain amount of years of experience. People will see me flip a property on social media and be like, girl, can you be my mentor? My response is always like, if I mentor you right now, you're going to lose all your money because I don't have enough information or expertise or time or skin in the game to be able to coach anybody. Like that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I really want to take the time and learn the process. Three, I always say, you should be able to, when you're picking a mentor, even if you're paying them online, there should be some level of accountability. Does your mentor have a mentor? I would like to know who your mentor's mentor is. You can't mentor anybody if you're not also being mentored, right? And we have to ask ourselves this $1 million question, which is why? Why am I wanting to choose this person? Again, are we operating off of our eye gate and looking and desiring their lifestyle? So we want to be connected to them because we want to live how they're living. If you're doing that, that's probably the wrong decision. I want to sit back and watch and really be impressed by the information that you're giving me. It's so funny. I was following this tax guy for years because I've always been very intrigued how people that don't look like us keep their money through taxes. If you can learn the tax code, I mean, when I tell you there is wealth building in learning the tax code. So I was following this tax expert online and I thought he was giving really good information. Then after a while, I started being like, okay, all he's doing is stitch videos, which means he's allowing somebody else to share the information and he'll kind of tag team on the back. Then all of a sudden he starts posting the Lamborghinis and walking around with his shirt off. And then I immediately unfollowed because I said to myself, you are now selling people, trying to get people to buy a course. I don't want to see my tax professional with his shirt off and you sexy on the beach. And like, that's unprofessional to me. That is not why I wanted to be connected to your community in the first place. I wanted the information that you had to give. So I sit through a lot of free webinars. And Patty, again, I want to get to what you're doing on Thursdays, but sit through these free webinars. You have to invest time. See, are these people actually answering the questions? Are they actually excited about the information that they're giving? Do they ever get stumped? Like, you have to are they willing to say, I really don't know, but I'll find the information. You have to learn to vet people. Again, most of the time we sign up for a mentorship because we want money quickly and we want what these people have. And you cannot make a decision like that. Also, if you are going to get a mentor, my big thing about mentorship is not a one-way street. You also have to be adding value to the mentor, right? Which means if you're going to sit through classes, they are not there to hold your hand and give you all this information if you are not going to act on the information. You have to have some skin in the game, which means you have to be giving effort. You have to put your head down and you actually have to be applying the information and becoming an asset to that mentor as well. It's a relationship. It is not one-sided. So that's my 2 cents on mentorship.
I was going to say, like, I don't even think most people even want mentors or understand what mentorship really is, because it is about relationship building and it is about like that time and actually getting to know someone and actually being able to spend time with that person. I think what people want to pay for is a quick way to get to where that person is right now, to the level that they achieved. And they might use the word mentor because it's been thrown out there as a way to get there. But most people don't understand that. And I think if we actually have people really focus on taking the time to want to build those relationships that are necessary in mentorship, then they would see a stronger benefit. But people, at the end of the day, most people want those quick fixes, and they think that even paying for them is going to get them the results versus building those relationships. And I like to say, Like there are people that I look up to online, and 9 times out of 10, those people that I'm like, I aspire to be, I am in their network. Like these are people that I know in real life because I have taken the time out to actually research, study them, and be able to get into those circles. And those relationships are exponentially more influential over my life than me paying for a course for somebody that I'm just trying to fix something really quick, because those people
Mhm.
will continuously pour into you no matter what stage of your life you're in, and you guys continue to grow and evolve together. So I don't want people to downplay the importance of a true mentorship
Mhm.
versus just getting quick results to get to where you think you need to be.
Yeah, there
Absolutely.
are no quick results.
There are not. And proximity costs money, right? People want
Yeah.
to be around influencers, want to be around people with money. It costs money to get into the room. You think somebody
Mhm.
who is really living that life, really making money in the way that you aspire to make money, or really living that lifestyle, they're not just sitting online talking to people for the hell of it. They don't have
Mhm.
time. So
Mhm.
it costs. So I want to make something very, very clear. Coaching is different than mentorship, which is
Yep.
different than
Yeah.
sponsorship. Those are
I'm so
three
glad you
very
said that
different things.
because
Yep.
I did not know the difference. And I signed up for a coaching course when I first became a real estate agent. And now I realize I spent that money because I wanted to be good. But I
Yeah.
really needed mentorship over coaching. I
Mhm.
wasn't ready for
Yep.
coaching. So that was a lesson learned for
Yeah.
me. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, I would pay for coaching. Some people say that they would pay for mentorship. I've never paid for mentorship personally. Mentorships have been reciprocal relationships, because if you are really being mentored and providing value back to that mentor, right? The reason that they want to take you on as a mentee is because they see something in you. They see something in you that they saw in themselves. They see that you're really after it. And so for me, I heard this on a podcast. Shout out to the Uncompromised podcast by Lisa Gardner. She had someone in season 1 of her podcast that said, people approach me all of the time, but I'm willing to help anyone, but you have to pursue me. And it
Mm.
gets me all the time how people want so much help, but they're not willing to do the work. It's like, I told you I want help.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're over
Okay.
here doing whatever else you think that you need to be doing.
Hmm.
Pursue me. I'm not about to chase you to help you. I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself. That's not going to happen. So coaching is a very different thing than mentorship. And mentors often like to have relationships that are reciprocal because it keeps them fresh. It keeps new ideas coming for them. It helps them stay on top of their game and evolve, because good mentors are always students of the game, always.
Yep.
And I'll leave this one last tip, because I know we got a hot take from Lady Jade, but I will leave this one last thing. If you are vetting someone to join their coaching program, join their community, buy their product, because not everybody who markets is not quality, right? Not everybody is a scam. There are people, some programs out here that are really for the people. And I would
Mhm.
probably say like Wire, and I'm biased because it's mine, absolutely, but it's ours. It was built on a strong, authentic, genuine foundation. And do we have to market? We do. We're a business, but we're not out here flashing Lambos and this, that, and the third. If you want to know the success of a program, go look at the success of its students.
Ooh, that's
If
good.
if nobody is posting the successes or the wins of their students or people that they're actually helping, they don't have any. Right? They don't
Yeah.
have any. So the proof is in the pudding. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox right there. I'm so passionate about that
Yeah.
because I hate that people got so much. Use your own discernment. And if you are buying from the 19-year-old in the ad with the $200,000 from his chin to the palm of his hand, then, the problem is you. You deserve whatever he sold you.
Well, Wire has grown because of consistency and connection. So, we
Yeah.
appreciate that about you being authentic about your audience and about your members and about just helping women in general, Kaylani. Real talk, hands down.